Hello and welcome to my video series on engineering fundamentals. My name is Brett Tallman. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of Montana, and I'm also a math teacher. I've decided to do this because I've had some requests from different colleagues and other students to make some video lectures on engineering fundamentals, everything from statics to heat transfer to upper level courses. And what we want to do is we're going to spend some time, maybe 10 to 12, 14 minutes, looking to get a really basic, intuitive idea of the material. And we'll go topic by topic. So what we're going to start off with is statics. And this material is going to be for three types of people. First, let's say you're going to sit for your professional engineering exam. You need to review all the material. You knew it at one point. It takes time to kind of refresh and get your feet back under you. The second group of you are, let's say, mechanical engineering students. So those are some of you are MEs who are maybe freshmen, sophomore, seniors, who knows, and you're want a different perspective. A lot of times that can be really refreshing. It can also give you a little bit of a feel for difficult concepts. Third are third parties, interested third parties. This is going to be those of you who maybe aren't even in college yet, and you want to know what do mechanical engineers do, and you're willing to put in some time to really grasp some of the more advanced topics. Or maybe it means you're a French literature major and you're looking at doing more technical material, or you want to do a mechanical engineering minor. All right, I don't think I've ever heard of that, but you get the idea. There's all sorts of possibilities. Now, what I'd like to do next is I said that we'd be covering statics, and you're probably wondering, or you may be wondering, what is statics? So statics is basically a look at how forces work in the world around you. So our main goal is going to be looking at forces. Nothing. We're gonna for now. Nothing's going to be really moving. Sorry about that. Nothing's going to be moving. We're just looking what's really happening. And this is just an amazing concept that we see all around us, but unless you're aware, you don't really notice. So let's say the one that sticks out the most is let's say bridges. I did a quick search here for bridges, and you can see all these different types of bridges. And if you think about it, you have cars going over these things day in, day out for years and years, and it's holding all that load. I mean, look at this thing. Look at how far that distance is, and yet cars are going over that and over that, no problems. It's holding it up. Or, we take a look at these trusses, and you can see all these trusses. Well, what's going on in this member right here? How much force is there? And then later on, we'll learn, okay, well, how do we make that? How big does that material have to be able to carry that load? But how do these work? That's something we'll cover in statics, our trusses. So bridges are one area that we see in just daily life where statics is really doing its thing. Next thing are cranes. These are just absolutely remarkable contraptions. Let's see, I did a search on that as well, so you can see a bunch of cranes. Here you have, I mean, let's look at this one. You have this crane right here, and it's holding up a load way all the way over here. Why doesn't it fall down? And how much load can it carry? How does the operator know that the thing's not going to fall down? And how do they make it so this thing pivots? It can pivot, it can swivel. And how does the force carry down? These are amazing questions to ask. And once we start looking at statics, we'll see how they actually work. Now, I will say, How Stuff Works is a great site to check out. I love it for seeing what's happening in the physical world around you. And I'll also say that seeing cranes built on a high-rise is one of the coolest construction videos you'll ever see. I just absolutely love it. I encourage you to check it out. So that's our next topic is crane, or next example would be cranes. Let's see. Another really good one is let's see, where are we? Let's see. I grew up around the water, so I love the water. And one of the things that always fascinated me and kind of instilled fear in me, because I was usually on a much smaller craft than this, was barges and tugboats. But how's that barge pushing that? Like, what's happening with the forces, and how does it steer? And this cable, why don't they do a bigger cable, or why do they do these cables? And how much force is it carrying? And these are some of the questions you can ask. Or when sometimes you'll see barges on the sides, or tugboats on the sides of barges. What's going on there? How does it work? You can see this tugboat pushing at an angle. Well, why is it doing that? And what's going to go on in this barge? These are all questions that statics answer. Um, Finally, another great area that is just a good common sense question is not Batman and his enemy, but rather tire irons. I'm not sure if you've noticed this when you've been wrenching, but like wrenching on cars or kind of working on things. But you have these two styles of tire irons, one like this and one like this. Why is it that when you use this one, it seems to do a really good job at twisting on the bolt? But when you use this one, it seems like it's a lot easier for it to twist off the bolt. I'm not sure if you've ever noticed that, but why is that? So this is something that statics will answer. There's a really easy, I shouldn't say easy, there's a very clear reason why that happens. We'll take a look at it. So that said, let's see, what was our fourth one was tire irons. Sorry. Fourth one is tire irons. That said, you're probably chomping at the bit to get into statics, but before you get too excited, I have to kind of go over a couple things. First is, what do I expect that you've already covered? You've gone through physics and you understand F equals ma and how to add forces. We call that mechanics. All right, where are you in your mechanics? You've covered the basics. The other thing is you have an idea of what vectors are, how to use them. In particular, we're looking at dot products and cross products. We're not going to get too involved, but you got to know it. The third item will be later on, not right away, but later on you're going to need to know some calculus, basic integration. That's all I'm looking for. But when we get to center of mass, something we need. Our fourth item is the fourth item that I'm looking from you is all your basic math. So you have your algebra, you have your trigonometry, you're basically you're up to calculus. That's what I need. And finally, free body diagrams. You know what a free body diagram is. You're not afraid to use it. Make sure you're on board for all four of these items before continuing. Once you're ready, I look forward to seeing you on our next module. We'll take a look at some barges. Look forward to seeing you then.